Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Cedric Nunn's Photo Talks, in which I talk about an image I have made, including its content, context, and aspects of its making. Firstly, I must apologize. I'm having a technical issue with the camera I normally use to record these talks, the video camera, some technical issue. Hopefully I can sort it out pretty soon. Otherwise, I'm going to have to be using um, this laptop recording as until that takes place. So the image we're talking about today is the last one in a series that I've spoken about for the last week or so, from the series called Matlao, and which is the images of my grandmother Amy Lowe, whose colloquial name was Zulu name was Matlao, and it's also part of another bigger series and a project called Blood Relatives, which has been exhibited as well as and also which I made a video documentary about as well. Was meant to be published, but that never took place. So Matlao was also exhibited back in 1997, I think. Blood Relatives in 2005 and 2006, showed a few times. Um, and Matlao has been resurrected in the last few months for a further project that I'm partnering with an academic who will remain unnamed as yet until we are ready to do that. In which we work with the images of my grandmother, because she, as it turned out, she has now was photographed by me for a period of about 25 years, and is now somebody who is like probably one of the most documented black women documented over a 25-year period. And so that project we intend to for it to be a research-based kind of project that will culminate in workshops and exhibitions, and there'll be an archive of about 300 images. There'll be an exhibition and hopefully even a book at some point. So let me just read the as I normally do, the caption or the label of the image we are talking about today, which is the home of my grandmother Amy Lowe, Amy Matlao Lowe, that is. This was meant to be a temporary home after she was moved by tribal elders to make way for communal grazing after the death of her husband. But she lived here until her death in 2003. Ivuna, KwaZulu-Natal, 2001. So my grandmother was 101 years old in this image. And a year or so, this was she lived perhaps another year in this space before moving to live with my mother for about a year, and eventually passing on in my mom's house and bedroom. So you see a very intimate scene here. Indoor scene where to the right of the image is my in the foreground is my uncle, Amy's son, Ronnie Lowe, bare-breasted. So it's a hot day, tin roof, yes, quite hot. Having a cup of tea and conversing with his mother. And in the doorway is the son of Maqwabi, who unfortunately I don't recollect his name, but he was a regular visitor and also visiting. So to the left of the doorway you see a a dressing table with a mirror, and in that mirror, you can see the forefront, Ronnie's face, and to the extreme left, quite obscured, is also my mother, with a cup of tea obscuring the lower half of her face. And she is seated behind me and in the dining room. So this very small little apartment building, which was like pretty much like a four-roomed, traditional four-roomed place. Yeah, which was built by my grandmother. So she, you know, physically built this space, and it was the third house she occupied. It was meant to be a temporary house, but it happened at a time, I think she was in her 70s when she built it, where her energy was waning, her resources were waning, and so it ended up being the house she occupied for the next 30 years or more. But a beloved space for the family. We loved this space. We would cram into it. My daughter speaks about the miracle of fitting so many people in and finding a place to. There was an outside hut as well that was also part of this matrix, and quite a few other outside huts that were part of her farming. So she had even something called a ngolobani. Zulu people will know what I'm talking about. A grain storage on stilts, built with wicker. And she was a very resourceful woman. She had a kraal, she had all sorts of things. But a traditional peasant life, quite humble. And as the caption reads, she was moved by the tribal elders from a more advantageous place that they had with two husbands, both brothers. Dandy, that was Willie, my grandfather, my biological grandfather. And when he died, and apparently he died, I think in the 40s, she married his younger brother, Dandy Low, and I remember Dandy Low. I have very fond memories of this amazing man, and everyone spoke, even my mother. Loved him. So just to speak more about the project, it will hopefully inspire other people to speak more about the phenomena of black women, and not just celebrated or illustrious black women, but the roles that they played, extraordinary roles that they played in shaping a people and a culture. And so I look forward to that project, to working more on that project, and bringing it to fruition as well. So there are more images that I will, at a later date, that probably not in this compilation, but at a later date, I'll come back to speak about other aspects of her life. But for now, this will be probably a much shorter talk. But I will say, thank you for watching, and for more information on myself and my work can be found on my website, link to which, including my blog and email address, can be found in the video description below. If you like this talk, remember to click the like button and press subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thank you.